So we're here at Mobile World Congress 2025 with Paul and Padma from Broadcom. Great to see you guys. Show's buzzing, right?
Oh, it's quite an event. I mean, it really is. And every time we come to Barcelona, this event just excites me because you're in front of some of the top customers of the world. It's our chance to actually see, are we delivering for them? Are we giving them the best infrastructure possible for running their telco operations at scale? And it's really invigorating as, a product person like me. I love it.
Yeah, all about building those relationships, working out what to do next.
Absolutely. Those relationships, not just with our customers, but those relationships with our partners, right? Yeah. It's so important to us.
And of course, seeing all this kind of crazy new tech that you wouldn't normally come across. I've seen some mad things.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun. Like the kind of dancing robots. I thought those were kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a big amount of robots. Right, so let's get into this. Broadcom acquired VMware back along. Can you just situate us a little bit? What's Broadcom's offer now into the telco service provider space?
Yeah, sure. So Telco Cloud Platform is our offering for our service providers and for our cloud service providers. You've got to remember our background is VMware really was there at the very beginning of NFV as we looked at virtualizing telco networks back in 2014. And we've continued to build on that. And our Telco Cloud Platform now is actually a really cool platform where we're able to converge VNF and CNF-based applications. So all of your virtualization functions, you're able to run it on a core infrastructure that is both, it's the same infrastructure. It's a VCF-based Telco Cloud Platform that's running as the same infrastructure in your IT operations and your telco operations, your network operations. So it's really powerful. Broadcom has actually reinforced its commitment to the telco operators with our Telco Cloud Platform. It's critical.
So that's what I wanted to get into. You've got the Converged platform. We'll get into that a little bit. But really, number one question, I guess, if you're a customer or prospect, we want to hear about Broadcom's commitment into telco and service provider. And these are major investments. They're strategic and long-term from the customer side. Give us an update there.
Well, absolutely. And so what we've actually done is it's the only area where we've got a dedicated engineering-focused team around a particular vertical, which is for the telco vertical, a dedicated engineering team. We have a dedicated functional sales team to go after the telco vertical across all regions, Europe, Asia Pacific, and the Americas. And it's so important because we've got leading customers like Vodafone, BT, Telia, T-Mobile, SoftBank, all of these customers and many, many more all rely on us. Remember, we were there at the beginning of virtualization of these networks. We're going to be the leading platform for the next rev of evolution. As you look at 5G adoption has been a little slower in our customers. We see most customers needing converged operations of CNFs and VNFs, which we do in the platform. But over time, everything will move to cloud-native based deployments, and we're going to be the best cloud-native based deployment with our Telco Cloud Platform. So it's an exciting time sitting down with our customers. I always love it.
Yeah, strong message. I mean, telcos, they really want to know about commitment and long-term kind of support and everything, for sure. Yeah. We've got on to some engineering topics there. Padma, let me bring you in. One of the things I wanted to ask about, when we look at the, here at MWC, the mobile network architecture, system architecture, obviously we have 5G. Paul was talking about how that's rolling out, moving to 5G SA, the core network. Beyond that, the shift to 5G Advanced and ultimately onto 6G, we could be over the next 5+ years. Map us out a little bit how you're thinking about that.
Okay. So with the introduction of 4G is when we first saw, with the advent of NFV, we saw VNFs come into the picture. And now with 5G SA sort of picking up and getting deployed, we see a lot more of the CNFs. But the network is continuing to be a mix of VNFs and CNFs. And that's going to continue because operators have invested in IMS and 4G, and they're not going to walk away from what they have invested in. But the other key part is a mix of vendors. So it's a multi-vendor environment. Operators want to pick and choose the vendor of their choice. And that's where the Broadcom platform, the horizontal platform, comes into play. We allow a mix of vendors which are pre-integrated, pre-validated, and we can deploy it, and also a mix of VNFs and CNFs, right? And when it comes to IT and OSS, BSS, we see a trend where the OSS, BSS layers are not that well-defined anymore. It's becoming a continuum. So we see things like charging are part of the 5G core functions. And so all of those can be deployed on our platform as well. So this ability to scale and to evolve your network from an operator perspective is very powerful, because they don't want to lose what they've invested, but they want to evolve at their own pace.
So we're talking about network core applications through to OSS, BSS, other
BSS,
IT.
IT, everything on the same platform, and they can be VNFs, they can be CNFs, they can be from any vendor. And what we do is we also provide a very unified management layer, leveraging vSphere, leveraging the state-of-the-art Kubernetes functions, and we also provide a telco cloud automation on top of it that enables you to not only automate, but also to deploy telco-specific network functions, which have their own uniqueness. So things like SRIUV parameters, or if you want to do NUMA alignment with your CPUs, or any of those vendor-specific parameters that need to be tuned, we allow that. And we pre-integrate it, pre-validate it, and provide a solution.
Hence the network team, the dedicated team that Paul was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. And as you asked a question about 6G, right? So as we evolve into 6G is, still kind of nascent. It's we're trying to figure out where 6G is going. And there's a lot of discussion about spectrum and diversity of devices. But from a platform perspective, we think that what we are developing and what we are installing is going to stand the test of 6G as well, because it's going to be more of the same functions, more scaling, more virtualization, more AI applications that you can deploy, and all of this can be done on the platform that we have today.
Yes, I think there's a strong feeling to evolve rather than another big lift and shift, as it were.
And telecoms always have been about evolution. They like to kind of gradually grow out.
So thank you, Padma. Paul, we've talked about network workloads, IT workload. The obvious thing I have to ask you now is your AI workload. We hear AI native, AI networking. Help us situate a little bit the telco in that world, and then again how you support them, I guess.
Yeah, so it's actually it's interesting to look at. We kind of look at the AI side in terms of AI as a business opportunity for telco operators, and then AI as an infrastructure opportunity for them to help optimize and make a more efficient infrastructure. And I think both sides are actually quite interesting. But I think on the first, which is this business opportunity they have, I think it's very, very significant. The telco operators own the network bandwidth into their regional areas. We like to talk about it as sovereign AI. They are the most logical players to actually build sovereign AI, private AI in their local region. They have the networks, they have the bandwidth, they have the trust of the government and the trust of the people. So we see a big set of our operators evolving their businesses to actually become AI-based operators in region as well. You see it very commonly when you look across regions like Japan. We see it across the European region. It's very common for operators to do that. I think that business opportunity is very real. And as part of that, our Telco Cloud Platform, you can run our VMware Private AI Foundation. Private AI Foundation is actually something we did jointly with NVIDIA, and it gives you a whole infrastructure for actually running AI-based, generative AI-based applications and customized applications. It gives you the tools and the infrastructure, the model manager that you need to do, and the deployment of that, all as part of the infrastructure. So not just do you get to virtualize your functions, but you can bring new business opportunities with what we do with private AI as well.
The Private AI Foundation?
Private AI Foundation, that's right. Okay. And partnership with NVIDIA that has gone really well, and hard to go anywhere if you're not partnering with NVIDIA in the AI space.
Yeah. I mean, certainly the case. I know a lot of operators are figuring out their architecture for scenarios you're talking about there. Obviously they're in a good shape, but there's a few things they're kind of working through, and where to put certain functions, workloads, how that impacts the access.
Yeah, and whether it can bring more to their business, right? So ultimately, look, they have to actually work on new revenue streams and new revenue lines. I think that's what generative AI brings to them, is new potential and new revenue lines, as well as potentially better operational side.
Yeah. Okay, good. Padma, AI for the network, running a better network. Tell us about how AI can help you run your 5G core, run your services over it.
Yeah. So traditionally, machine learning has always been part of the discussion, but it was more focused on RF optimization or spectral efficiency and things like that. But now the focus has been more on operational efficiency. So that's where all these co-pilots and intelligent assistants is all coming into play. But also another thing that's happening is, while there's intelligence in the data center, but there's also trend towards inference at the edge. And that's where I think the Broadcom side of things, where we have custom NPUs or intelligent processors that can enable the edge, where you can load very specific models onto the inference on the edge and get the inference out of it and be able to provide some intelligence at the edge.
Yeah, it's a big kind of decision, and the decision matrix for telcos is large, right? They're working through a lot of things now, and you take up, I don't know, they have an analytics program, for example, in 5G Core, but all of a sudden that's now part of their AI program. They got an AI program for running the network. Well, we need one to monetize, and it's a fun time for them all, and certainly.
The one other thing to add is there's a lot of talk about telco AI with LLMs and SLMs and agentic, but it's an evolving space, and some of the models have to be more customized for the telco domain, and that's happening as we go along.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Padma. So, Paul, I'm going to close out with you.
Sure.
Let's reiterate what tell me again how committed you are to telco.
We're totally committed to telco, but let me do it in a different way. We were the company that actually led NFV virtualization back in 2014. As you look at workloads going to cloud native workloads, we're going to be the best platform for running cloud native workloads. We already are, in my view. We built that into Telco Cloud Platform. It gives you the automation that you need to actually deploy new workloads. It gives you a complete CNCF kind of compliant Kubernetes-based interface so that you can run your container workloads. It gives you the performance that you need to run those workloads. So you've got now one platform that can run virtualization and containers. It's the Telco Cloud Platform built on our VCF stack, so common operations for you. We're here to stay in the telco space. We're here to grow our customers in the telco space, and certainly this event is invigorating to just meet with our customers. I love it.
It certainly is that. Padma and Paul, thank you very much.
Sure, thank you so much.